Man, do you really think the Leafs had a shot last night? Are you about to make a really stupid Corsi joke? Oh, come on, you ruined it! Woo! Are you just gonna get hammered? Get me a toaster. Magic Angel Robot from Winnipeg!
What the hell are you talking about?
This team is ruining my life! Leafs lose 2-0 to the LA Kings. Martin Jones, stop by Martin Jones. That guy's pretty good, eh? It must be nice to have Jonathan Bernier as your backup goalie and then have enough depth behind him to go, just take up. Kings piss me off. You know what? Overall, a better game by the Leafs. Overall, I like them more, and overall, change, which is important, and yet it was the same old thing that killed them. The Leafs were about as good as the Kings, if not better, for 19 minutes and 23 seconds of this game. But they give up a goal in the first 37 seconds, and that's all they needed. And plenty of you were pointing out to me on Twitter, hey, look, Steve, it's just like you said, Jonathan Bernier again, first minute. I wouldn't put this one on Bernier. There's a pile up in his crease, and all 5 Leafs are watching the puck. And this, to me, is where the growing pains are going to be under Peter Horacek, or any team that goes to a new coach. You know, I noticed a little bit of difference in their game. You know, a different breakout. They seem much more responsible defensively. But there were a few times in this game where even though it didn't end up biting the Leafs, you could tell there was an obvious confusion and lack of communication. I mean, the roster hasn't changed, but things are new in many ways. You got to be talking. On at least 2 occasions, I think it was Franzen, it doesn't matter who, they were like, would someone like this puck? Because I could, you, I could take it or leave it. And that'll fix itself with practice and execution, but the problem with that is practice comes before execution. And unfortunately for the Leafs, they're in California. Still, overall they look better, and some players really had some jump. We tend to only mention Phil Kessel when he pots a goal or gets a nice point. I thought he looked great in this one. You know who I haven't yelled about in a long time, and now I want to praise him? Jake Gardiner looked great. He looks like a new player. He's aggressive. He's confident. One suggestion I heard this season, and I don't remember who it was from, so I'm sorry, is maybe what Jake Gardiner doesn't need is coaching. It's less coaching. And I don't know, maybe it's a stretch, but maybe he had too much going on. Some of the mistakes he was making, I don't know, that might explain it. Namely, waving at the puck like you're playing lacrosse. Ironically, I think that was the last game against the Kings, wasn't it? But ultimately, while I like how the Leafs played in this one, while I like how Kessel played, while I like how Gardiner played, the Leafs lost the game. Nobody should be thrilled. Nobody should be happy. You should just be less sad than you usually are. And that's where let me get to my yelling bit. Some people seem to be under the, let's go with misguided impression that fans are happy that the Leafs are doing better in shot differential even though they're losing. As if just because the Leafs did better in the shot department, fans are gonna forget that they lost. Are you new? Should the fans be giving the Leafs praise for playing better? Yes. Should the fans be over the moon because they're playing better even though they're losing? Of course not. But you know who's doing that? Literally nobody. I'm so sick of these Twitter battles over hypothetical people in hypothetical situations that don't exist. And saying that Leafs fans shouldn't be happy that the team is playing better. What are you talking about? That's like making a New Year's resolution, going to the gym once, looking in the mirror and going, well, no abs yet, better just give up. No, don't do that. If you keep doing the right things, eventually you'll get abs. Do you get the comparison? But here is the most misguided, nay, psychotic thing that I have heard about the Leafs under Horacek, which, by the way, has been 3 games! Would you rather the Leafs get outshot and win, or outshoot their opponent and lose? The main problem I have with that is you're acting like those are the only 2 options! William Nylander has been the biggest Leaf story over the last 24 hours. That's because he's a Leaf prospect, and that is because the Leafs picked 8th overall last summer. And I don't know if you know this, but the Stanley Cup champion usually doesn't pick in the top 10. So perhaps the option should be, would you rather the Leafs get outshot and win? Would you rather the Leafs outshoot and lose? Or would you rather the Leafs get outshot and lose? My answer, I would rather them outshoot and lose because I think it will eventually lead to them outshooting and winning. Brain in your skull! I know there's an extreme cold alert, but holy smokes! Give it an oil change, but instead of oil, use thoughts and logic. I'm sorry, the reason I'm yelling, like, we're not having this discussion again, guys. We're not. To have this discussion would be to pretend that the Leafs were awesome before, which they weren't. They choked last season, and they were in the middle of choking this season. So this discussion is either stupid or dishonest, and I'm not having it either way. So I'm happy to say, hey, this team looks like they should be winning some games. But believe me, I would be much happier saying, hey, look, this team is winning some games. If the Leafs won a Stanley Cup under Randy Carlyle, I would walk up and down the entire length of Yonge Street with him on my shoulders. Champions, woo, Randy, Randy! But that didn't happen, did it? So in the Leafs' next game, I am hoping for 3 things. 1, a better start. 2, a similar, if not better, effort. And 3, a win. Because that's why you play the games, you silly goose. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Brand new Panago Pizza, Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow because my train was canceled because it's bloody cold today. And I will see you next time.